we want to welcome all of you to our talk show here at Faith International Life Empowerment. And so today we have one of our special guests with us all the way from parts unknown called Google, amen. Won't you put your hands together for our special guest, Mrs. Arienne Thompson Plourde. Put our hands together as we come up together, amen. Well, y'all can do a whole lot better than that. Well, Mrs. Thompson, we're so glad to have you here apart as they cut off the strolling lights right here, man.
Yes.
So, we want to thank God for you being with us today on this talk show because you're the one that helped birth this talk show.
I'm a born and raised Memphian. I went to White Station Middle School, White Station High School. I left for college and went to the Midwest, and I've lived in the DC area for about 20 years now. But I love the Memphis metro area. As I said, I'm learning so much about Best Memphis as we are here quite regularly to work on this project and to be in the community to ensure that we're not just here, but that we're of the community.
Well, let me ask you this here. As Google is preparing to build a data center here in our region, can you share what impact that project means for this community and why this investment is important in West Memphis?
Yeah, so we're proud to be here. We've made a $4 billion investment. We had our groundbreaking in October, and I know you were invited to the groundbreaking, you weren't able to make it, but there were so many community leaders and folks that we're working very closely with who were there, who were able to see us put the shovel in the ground and start to get this thing vertical. It takes about 18 to 24 months to build a data center, as you and I talked about the other day. And so we're just happy to see, everything kind of come up out of the ground. And it was important for us to be in a place like West Memphis and in the Delta, the Digital Delta, because this is a business-friendly environment. We've been working very closely with Mayor McClendon and his administration, and they have welcomed us with the most open arms. And folks like you in the community too, who are excited that we're here, and that makes a big difference. Thank you. It sounds simple, but it's nice to come into an environment where people are friendly and they want you to be here. And you get to have meetings with folks that go well because they're excited that you're here. So when I think about folks, I'm sitting right next to Audrey Willis here, who's at Code Crew, and we've talked about a partnership that will benefit the students of West Memphis. We're so excited to bring computer science skills and some additional STEM education initiatives through the school system to West Memphis students. We're excited about things like that. You and I have talked about, obviously, workforce development, community engagement, community investment. We're working with Crittenden County Cares and DeQuanda Smith there. So when I say I feel at home, I really mean it. At this point, when I come across the bridge, I'm running into folks I know all the time in West Memphis, and that's what it's all about.
That is awesome. So here at Life Empowerment, we work with youth, we work with young adults, preparing them for workforce development through training, education, life skill development. From a Googler's perspective, what kind of skills, character traits, and preparation will make someone a workforce ready for Google today?
Before I answer that, let me go back to where I started in setting the record straight. So this talk show exists because Pastor King and I talked on Friday, and he kind of hit me with some rapid fire interview questions. I'm a trained journalist. I worked at USA Today for about a decade. And so I told Pastor King, I said, you could be a journalist the way you're asking me these questions and doing all these follow-up questions. And so I said, rather than me just getting up and being on program on Sunday and just saying a few words, why don't we have a conversation and do an interview? And now I see this is the second or third news clip I've seen of you. You got it. You got the juice. You know how to do this.
Here's what they say, man. They said you don't get ready, you gotta stay ready.
Exactly.
And you never know what happens.
But let me answer your question. So in terms of workforce readiness, preparedness, workforce development with young people, what we just heard in this clip is exactly right. That college is not necessarily for everyone, and that is okay. We believe, just like you do, that the skilled trades are critically important We need folks in HVAC, we need plumbers, we need people in construction. These are all things that happen within the four walls of our data center to get that data center up and the lights on. For anyone who doesn't know, a data center is really an engine of the internet. So everything that we do on our phones, our laptops, our iPads, all of that information is going through a data center. And so the more that we are computing in this digital economy, the more we need data centers. And it's not just it's not just Instagram and us wanting to DoorDash things or, online shop. Hospitals use data centers, banks use data centers. This is part of the fabric of our digital life. And so we need an entire ecosystem of folks to keep those data centers humming. And that includes lots of people in the skilled trades. And so we understand the importance of training young people to be in these jobs. And you and I have talked about this quite a bit. A lot of these jobs are six-figure jobs. Let me repeat that. Six-figure jobs, right? Yes. So one of our goals is to train folks in every community that we call home. We have data centers all around the world. Every community that we call home, we invest in that community. We engage in that community. And we try to reskill, upskill, and teach folks how to be participants in the digital economy so that everybody gets a piece of this pie.
You said six figures.
Let's say that one more time for the people together.
Six figures. So, how do you see partnership between organizations like Life Empowerment, Creating Cares, organizations like that, with Google helping shape the next generation of talents? What opportunities do you believe this creates for long-term community transformation?
It's a great question, and I do feel very blessed that we are so philosophically aligned. So many of the things that you talk about that are part of your curriculum, even in the tour that you gave me of the entire campus, I was nodding and shaking my head a lot because these are the things that we say and do as well, right? Helping young people be prepared. Not just with the technical skills or getting certificates or doing programs like Grow with Google, which are amazing, but there is a foundational piece there too, soft skills. Our young people have to know how to articulate themselves. They have to know how to present a resume. They have to know how to shake hands with their interviewer when they show up to, present themselves as a good candidate. These are all things that are part of the entire package of how we get folks ready. So the partnership that we're building, again, it is amazing that we are on the same page about so many things because there's sort of a shortcut there, right? Or a shorthand rather, where we are talking about the same thing and we want the same things. So we have already started partnerships, as I said, with Crittenden County Cares. We are working with Main Street West Memphis to help support entrepreneurs and small businesses. We've had many, many conversations with Southland Casino on the topic of community investment, of workforce development. We are working with the Chamber of West Memphis. So we're here for real. We're showing up, we're talking to the right people, we are consistent, and we're not transactional. We're not just check writers. As you can see, I don't know how many big companies come to Sunday service, but this is how we do it, and we're not playing around.
Come on, let's give it up for you. Absolutely correct. So let's make this practical. If someone here today say, I'm ready to start, you have convinced me, you have sparked my interest, what's the first step should they take?
Well, I'm going to give you two steps, right? So the first one is sort of just a practical, technical step. Go to careers.google.com. Look at our job board and see what might pique your interest there, right? And then the second step is sort of a mental exercise. What happens a lot, I think, especially with tech companies or just big companies in general, is people tend to gatekeep themselves and think, well, I don't have this degree or I don't have these skills, so I'm not even going to apply. Here, I want everybody to hear me and hear me good. And remember this. Look at these positions and think about where you might want to be in 5 years and what the skills might take to get you there. But don't just cut yourself out and think, I can't do this, I can't do that. Look at remote positions. When positions in the Arkansas area come up for this data center, please be monitoring that and see what might be appropriate for you. But in the meantime, you can look at remote positions at Google and already be part of the Google system. So that second piece is really important. Of course, you can always Google Google jobs, right? But I want you to do that mindset shift and think about what can I do that might seem out of reach today, but that I really want to do it, or it's an aspiration of mine. And I tell that to everyone, regardless of education level, regardless of professional experience. Don't ever talk yourself out of a job at a place like Google because you think you're not enough for it. We want you. What we look for at Google is innovation, creativity. Are you nimble? Do you do the right thing? Are you a team player? I bet you a bunch of folks in this room have all of those attributes. So I would love for you to look at our job boards and think about yourself in a different way.
We want to thank you. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for your innovation to even come up with this idea. Let's do a talk show.
We did it in 48 hours. We did it.
I think we're less than 48 hours.
I think you're right, 36.
And this is something we're going to do on a regular basis.
I love it. I'll be back too. I'll see who the next guest is.
We're going to thank, we got a list that we're preparing together right now. And so let's thank our sisters for being with us today. And first of all, I just want to thank you for not just seeing people as users, but you see individuals with potential. So I want to say this here to the congregation, to the community. Prayer prepares you, but skill positions you. And when preparation meets opportunity, that's when empowerment begins. We thank you. It's time to go to work, everybody. We got about 14, 18 more months for Google.
Yeah, a little bit. Don't hold me to that. But we're in the mix. So 2027 will be operational.
2027. So it's time to lace up our boots, put on your backpack. It's time to ride. Amen. So let's give a hand one pump for our special guest, amen.